I need somebody help, not just anybody help. You know I need someone help. When I was young, was so much younger than today.
All right, here we go. This is the preview video for Concept 11, and you just heard the Beatles saying help. Well, this is going to be your help to be really successful on this. So we're not doing anything new in 11. We're using work we've already done. We've done distributive property. We've done integers. We're just looking at it a little bit differently. The question is, decide whether each equation is equivalent. And it says an equation is equivalent if both sides of the equation equal the same amount. So, for example, if I said, does 4 plus 1 equal 8 minus 3? Well, 4 plus 1 is 5. 8 minus 3 is 5. That would be an equation that is equivalent. So let's start out, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make this equation all addition. We're going to make all of those addition. Every time we see a subtraction, we're going to add the opposite. And then I'd recommend when you do this on a test, take your highlighter and highlight every place that you're working with a negative, so you're really careful about making sure that when you distribute or when you add, you take that into account. The very first thing we should do, before we do any distributing over here, if you take a look at the right side of the equation, you'll notice there's a 7x and a negative 4x. We can combine those two things. Now, we could distribute and then combine, but then we start working with bigger numbers, and it's easier to do it when they're smaller numbers. So we're going to take and we're going to rewrite this side. 7x plus negative 4x. 7 positives, 4 negatives. The 4 negatives cancel out 4 of the positives, and they leave us with 3x plus negative 6. We're going to bring down the left side. We're going to write it exactly as it appears. We're still checking to see if these are equivalent. All right, let's start distributing. We have 6 times 2x. That's 12x. We have 6 times negative 4. That's plus negative 24. We have 4 times 3x. That's 12x. We have 4 times negative 6. 4 times negative 6 is negative 24. Negative 12x plus negative 24 equals negative 12x plus negative 24 equal. All right. So use that model. Try problem B. Pause the video. Try problem B. Turn the video back on. You can fast forward to where you see the answer, or you can watch it step by step. Okay, so you should have worked problem B. We're going to go through, we're going to make everything addition. Now, we don't change, if this is a negative 10y, we don't change that. It's not subtraction, that's a negative 10y. We have to change this one, and we're going to highlight that one. We're going to highlight the one that we changed, so we make sure when we distribute. And in fact, we're going to highlight everything that's a negative. So those are negatives as well. We're going to rewrite first. All right, so we're going to rewrite. In fact, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to A. Here's something I probably should have done. After I rewrote it, I should have highlighted again. So I'm going to make sure this time when I rewrite, I also highlight. The reason we have to rewrite is we've got 2 negative y's and 7 positive y's. We want to combine those before we start the problem. So we've got negative 4 times negative 2 plus 7. You can do that off on the side. Negative 2 plus 7. 2 negatives, 7 positives. That leaves us with 5 positives y's plus a negative 2. On the other side, we have 2 times negative 10y plus 8. All right, Negatives to keep track of. Here's a negative to keep track of. Here's a negative to keep track of. Here's a negative to keep track of. I guess I should have done that up on the top. Okay? So now we're ready to distribute. 2 times negative 10y, negative 20y. 2 times positive 8, 16. I notice I can bring that addition down because everything's addition in my problems. None of that stinking subtraction for us. Negative 4 times 5y, negative 20y, plus, everything's going to be addition, plus negative 4 times negative 2, negative times negative, positive. All right, so we look and compare. Negative 20y plus 16, negative 20y plus 8. These are not equal. We know that, not equal. Okay, here are problems C and D. I'd like you to go ahead, pause the video, try either one or both, then turn the video back on. I'm going to go ahead and explain them step by step. But before I do that, make sure you pause and try them for yourself. Okay, let's go through. So the first step, first thing I want to do, everywhere I see subtraction, I'm going to make it addition. So instead of minus 6x, it's plus negative 6x. Instead of minus 12, it's plus negative 12. And I'm going to go through, and everywhere I see a negative, I'm going to highlight. Now, if you don't need to do that to keep track of things, okay. I've done a lot more math than you've done. I find it easy to miss a negative once in a while. So that idea of going through and just making sure I capture them, I know where they are before I get into the middle of the problem, I found that's helpful for me. First step, we need to look at this right side where there are similar terms sitting in the parentheses. And we need to go ahead and we need to combine those terms. So we've got negative 2x, we've got positive 4x. Negative 2 plus 4. Negative 2 plus 4 is positive 2. So when we rewrite this, we're going to have 2 times 2x, because we had negative 2x and positive 4x, plus negative 12. That's the right side of the equation. The left side doesn't change because there was nothing to combine. Once again, I want to know where those negatives are when I start distributing. So here are all the negatives. It's like an Easter egg hunt. I don't want to miss any of those wonderful negatives. All right. 4 times negative 2x, negative 8x, plus, everything in my problem is addition, so that's easy, plus 4 times negative 6, negative 24, equals 2 times 2x, 4x. And finally, let me find a color I haven't used here, and finally 2 times negative 12, so plus negative 24. This is a not equal. You can see we've got negative 8x here, positive 4x there. Yes, the negative 24s are the same, but the entire thing has to be the same to be equivalent. All right, on to D. So step 1, make everything that's subtraction into addition. Step 2, find everything that's negative and highlight it, including the things out in front of the parentheses if they're negative. So everything that's negative, give it a highlight. All right, we have things we can combine in this one. We have 5x, we have negative x. Remember, negative x is the same as saying negative 1x. So we have 5 positives and 1 negative. That's going to leave us 4 positives. So when we rewrite this side, we've got negative 6 times 4x plus negative 3. And on the other side, we have 3 times negative 4x plus negative 6. And we want to see if these are equal. Let's keep track of our negatives, highlight everything that's a negative. And now we're ready to distribute. So here we go. 3 times negative 4x, negative 12x. 3 times negative 6, so plus negative 18. Negative 6 times 4x, negative 24x. Negative 6x times negative 3 plus 18. Negative 12x, negative 24x. No, these are not equal. All right, last one. I promised you one with a fraction, and I know you've just been waiting for the chance to do that fraction problem. So pause the video, try the fraction problem. Don't get thrown off by the fraction. When you see this, think of what's half of 18x? What's half of negative 24? All right, so give it a pause, and then we'll take a shot. All right, we're back. Step 1, make any subtractions into addition. We only had one of them there. Step 2, highlight everything that's going to be a negative. Oh, I don't know how I ended up with that. I don't like that color. I like that color. My green to highlight. We get to a test, you don't have a highlighter, you let me know. I'll be happy to loan you a highlighter. Okay, let's look at what we can combine. So we have negative 5x's, we have positive 2x's. So we have negative 5 plus 2. 5 negatives, 2 positives. That gives us 3 negatives. So here we've got negative 3 times negative 3x plus 4. Now on the other side, we're going to write it out exactly as it appeared. There was nothing there to combine, so we don't have to change anything. Now we're ready to multiply. We're going to do 1/2 times 18x. So 1/2, and if you need to, we can use some space right over here. 1/2 times 18. 18 over 1, do the canceling. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 18 9 times. So we end up with 9x. Plus, everything's addition. Plus 1/2 times negative 24. We know that's going to be a negative answer because we have a positive times a negative. So keep that in mind before you get confused with all your canceling. Negative 12. So 9x plus negative 12 equals negative 3. I didn't highlight when I got here, so let's go back. Let's make that a habit. All right. Negative 3 times negative 3x. 9x. You want to see that? Negative 3 times negative 3x. Negative times negative has to be positive. And negative 3, so that was that one. And negative 3 times positive 4, so plus negative 12. And this is a yes. Equal. All right, so take a look over that, and there's a second preview video that I would like you to look at, and it's a video where in fact, I'll give you a preview. It's a video that looks like this. Identify whether expressions are equivalent. So that one's coming up next.